My wife left me while I was fighting for my life. Now that I've recovered, she wants to come back, and ask for money. The diagnosis that changed everything. Life was good. Or at least, it looked good from the outside. I had a stable job as a financial analyst, a 3-bedroom house in the suburbs, a golden retriever named Jake, and a wife I genuinely thought I'd grow old with. Her name was Vanessa. We'd been together since our late 20s, met at a mutual friend's wedding, hit it off over bad wine and worse dancing, and were married 2 years later. Our life wasn't flashy, but it was steady. Or so I thought. Everything started falling apart when I was diagnosed with stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I remember that day like it happened 5 minutes ago. It was a Wednesday. I went in for some routine blood work after weeks of feeling off, dizzy, tired, losing weight despite eating like a horse. When the doctor sat me down and said the word, cancer, everything went quiet in my brain. Like a bomb had gone off and all I could hear was the ringing. Vanessa cried when I told her. I cried too. She hugged me, said we'd get through it. That we were a team. That nothing would come between us. I believed her. The slow disappearance. The first few months were brutal. Chemo hit me like a truck. I lost my hair, my appetite, and about 30 pounds. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. Some days, I could barely sit up in bed. Vanessa started pulling away slowly. At first, I thought it was just the stress. She'd come home late from work. Say she was tired. She'd sleep in the guest room because I looked uncomfortable and she didn't want to disturb me. She stopped holding my hand during treatments. Stopped asking how I was feeling. Stopped looking at me. One night, about 5 months into treatment, I woke up around 2 a.m. and she wasn't home. Her car was gone. Her phone went straight to voicemail. The next morning, she told me she needed space and that she'd been crashing at a friend's place to clear her head. A week later, she left. No explanation. No warning. Just a typed letter on the kitchen counter. Alone in the storm. Those next few months were the darkest of my life. I was too sick to be angry. Too broken to fight. My parents lived 3 states away, and I didn't have siblings. Most of my friends were co-workers, and after I left work, most of them faded into silence. The only consistent presence in my life was Jake, my dog, and the nurse who came twice a week. There were nights I wondered if I was going to die alone in that house. There were nights I kind of wanted to. But then, the treatment started working. Very slowly, things improved. My doctor cautiously told me we were seeing signs of remission. I started eating again. Walking. Even laughing, sometimes. I picked up a notebook and started writing down goals. Small things, like make breakfast, or walk around the block. And every day, I crossed something off. Crawling back to life. A year after Vanessa left, I rang the bell at the oncology clinic. Remission. Clean scans. No sign of active cancer. I still had monthly appointments and checkups, but the worst was over. I started rebuilding. I got a new job, remote work for a fintech startup. I sold the house, too many memories, moved to a small condo downtown, and went to therapy. A lot of therapy. For the first time in years, I started feeling like myself again, or maybe a new version of myself. One who understood pain. One who didn't take things for granted. One who didn't beg people to stay who were clearly halfway out the door. The message. And then, almost 2 years after she left, Vanessa reached out. It was a random Thursday night. I was watching a movie, Jake snoring at my feet, when my phone lit up. Vanessa, hey. I heard about your recovery. I'm so glad you're okay. Can we talk sometime? I stared at the screen for a long time. My hands shook. Not from anger, from disbelief. She left me in the middle of my worst nightmare, and now she wanted to talk. I didn't respond that night. Or the next. But the message sat there, rotting in my inbox like bad fruit. The reunion. A week later, curiosity got the better of me. I agreed to meet her at a cafe. She looked almost exactly the same, a little thinner, maybe. Her smile was cautious. She hugged me like she wasn't sure if I'd hug back. I didn't. We sat down. She ordered green tea. I didn't order anything. She started talking. About how sorry she was. About how scared she'd been. How she wasn't strong enough to watch me suffer. How she mentally shut down and didn't know how to be there for me. Then came the kicker. She'd lost her job. Moved into a friend's guest room. Burned through her savings. I know I don't deserve your help, she said, her voice trembling. But I'm really struggling. I didn't know who else to turn to. I felt like I was watching a movie in slow motion. She wanted money. After leaving me to die, she came back for cash. What I told her. I looked her straight in the eye and said. You didn't just leave me, Vanessa. You abandoned me in a war zone. You walked out while I was fighting for my life. She tried to cry. Maybe it was real. Maybe it was guilt. Maybe it was desperation. I thought about you every day, she whispered. I didn't respond. I stood up, dropped a 20 on the table, and said. The person you're looking for doesn't live here anymore. And I walked out. My wife left me during my cancer battle. Now she wants to come back and asks for help, again. Part 2, she tried again, through others. After I walked away from that cafe, I hoped it would be the end. It wasn't. About a week later, I got a message from a mutual friend, Marissa, one of Vanessa's bridesmaids back in the day. We hadn't spoken in years. Hey, I know this is random, but Vanessa told me you guys talked. She's in a really bad place. Please don't hate me for saying this, but she's not the same person she was. Maybe you could help her, even just a little. There it was. The emotional middleman tactic. I didn't reply. I blocked Marissa. Not out of cruelty, but because I finally understood something. Vanessa wasn't reaching out because she regretted hurting me. She was reaching out because she regretted her consequences. The therapy revelation. A few days after that, I brought it up in therapy. My therapist, Julia, had seen me at my absolute rock bottom. She'd sat with me through the grief, the rage, the hollow mornings. She didn't tell me what to do. Instead, she asked me. If she never asked you for money, would she still be here today? I didn't even need to think. No. Absolutely not. She followed it up with. Do you want her back in your life because you miss her, or because you miss who you thought she was? That one hit me harder. Because I didn't miss Vanessa. I missed the idea of someone who would stay when things got hard. And that person was never really her. Starting over, for real this time. I deleted every trace of her from my phone. Blocked her number. Archived old photos. Took off my wedding ring, which, embarrassingly, I'd still worn sometimes out of habit. That was the moment I truly accepted that she was my past, not my pause. And that's when the present started showing up. Meeting Leah. Leah worked at the same co-working space I sometimes used when I needed a change from my apartment. She was a graphic designer, sharp, witty, and had the kind of laugh that made people turn their heads. We started with small talk. Then shared lunches. Then longer conversations about life and weird internet memes and our favorite comfort foods. I didn't rush into anything. After everything I'd been through, I was careful. Guarded. But she never pushed. Never asked for more than I could give. One night, while we were walking Jake, I told her the whole story, the cancer, Vanessa, the abandonment, everything. She didn't flinch. She didn't try to fix it. She just listened and said, "You deserved so much better. But I'm really glad you're still here." That was the first night I let myself cry in front of someone since getting sick. Vanessa's last move. About 3 months after Leah and I started dating, I received a certified letter. From Vanessa. Inside was a handwritten note and a request. She needed a co-signer for an apartment lease. She wrote, "I'm not asking you to love me again. But I need help. I wouldn't ask if I had another choice." No apology. No acknowledgement of what she'd done. Just another ask. This time, I didn't hesitate. I didn't respond. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel anything. The power of being done. You know what the real healing moment was? It wasn't walking away. It wasn't deleting the photos. It wasn't even starting something new with Leah. It was when I realized that Vanessa no longer had any emotional power over me. She was just someone I used to know. Moving forward, not backward. Leah and I have been together for almost a year now. We're not rushing anything, but we've talked about the future. She knows I still go in for checkups every 3 months. She reminds me to drink water and eat real food, not just protein bars and caffeine. She doesn't treat me like I'm fragile, but she respects what I've been through. And that's the difference. She stays. She stayed through the nightmares. Through the anniversaries of chemo. Through the panic attacks and the fear of recurrence. And not once did she ask for anything in return. To anyone reading this. If you're going through something similar, being left when you're vulnerable, watching someone you loved become a stranger, let me say this as clearly as I can. You are not unlovable. Your trauma is not a burden. The person who leaves you in your darkest moment does not get to be part of your light. And if they come back, begging when the sun is shining again, just remember, you survived without them. You don't owe them anything. Setting boundaries and embracing the future. After Vanessa's last desperate request, I knew I had to draw a line. She left me during my darkest days. Now, I was done being her safety net. The final confrontation. I sent Vanessa one last message. I am not your backup plan. I'm not here to fix your mistakes. You hurt me when I needed you most. If you want to be part of my life, start with respect, not demands. She never replied. Healing through new love. Leah has been my anchor. She never tried to erase my past or rush me. She asked questions when I was ready to answer, gave space when I needed it. With her, I learned that love is about presence, not perfection. Rediscovering myself. I took up painting again, something I abandoned years ago. I traveled to places I'd dreamed of but never dared visit. I reconnected with old friends and made new ones who truly care. Looking back without regret. Some days, I still feel the sting of Vanessa's betrayal. But mostly, I feel pride. Pride that I fought through hell and came out stronger. Pride that I chose myself. Advice to anyone struggling. If you're going through pain because someone left you when you needed them, remember. Your worth is not tied to someone else's presence. Healing takes time, be patient with yourself. True love stays when it's hard. You deserve respect and kindness, never settle for less. The future is mine. I don't know what tomorrow holds. But I do know one thing. I'm no longer waiting for someone who abandoned me. I'm busy building a life that honors my strength. And that, more than anything, feels like freedom. The long road to healing. It's been over 3 years since Vanessa left me in the middle of my battle with cancer. 3 years since I rang that bell at the oncology clinic, signaling remission. 3 years of rebuilding what felt completely broken. The first year was the hardest, not physically, but emotionally. Cancer stole my health, but Vanessa stole my trust and my sense of safety. It wasn't just the loneliness during chemo or the fear of dying, it was realizing that the person I thought would be my rock had become my greatest source of pain. Learning to trust again. Meeting Leah was a turning point I didn't expect. She came into my life gently, like a soft breeze after a storm. No pressure, no expectations, just kindness and patience. She never rushed me to move on or get over it. Instead, she let me grieve, supported me through my bad days, and celebrated my small victories. With Leah, I learned that love isn't about grand gestures or perfect moments, it's about showing up, day after day. It's about accepting each other's scars and still choosing to stay. Rebuilding my identity. For so long, I defined myself through Vanessa, as her husband, her partner in a life we planned together. When she left, I felt like I lost not just a wife but a part of myself. Therapy helped me rediscover who I was. I started painting again, something I'd loved as a teenager but abandoned for responsibilities. I traveled alone, something I never dared do before. I made new friends who knew nothing of my past and loved me for who I am now. The shadow of the past. Despite the progress, the shadow of Vanessa's betrayal sometimes creeps back. Anniversaries of diagnosis bring a pang of loneliness. Seeing couples holding hands triggers flashbacks. Hearing someone mention abandonment can still make my chest tighten. But each time, I remind myself, I survived. I am more than what happened to me. Setting boundaries, finally free. The last time Vanessa reached out was over a year ago, asking for help with rent. I didn't reply. I sent her a clear message once. I'm not your safety net anymore. If you want to be part of my life, you have to respect my boundaries. Until then, I'm moving forward, with or without you. No response. And I'm okay with that. Love that stays. Leah has become my partner in every sense of the word. We talk openly about fears and dreams. We support each other's goals and face life's uncertainties together. She stayed through every doctor's appointment, every anxiety attack, every celebration. She didn't ask for perfect, she asked for honesty and presence. Looking to the future. I've started volunteering at a cancer support group. Sharing my story helps me heal and gives others hope. I've considered writing a book about my journey, the physical battle, the emotional scars, and the path to forgiveness. Most importantly, I've learned to forgive myself, for staying too long with someone who didn't deserve me, and for choosing to live fully again. A message to anyone listening. If you're feeling abandoned, broken, or lost, know this. You are not alone. Your worth is not determined by those who leave you. Healing isn't linear, it's messy and slow and worth it. Real love is steady, kind, and brave enough to stay through the darkest times. You deserve to be loved fully, including your scars. Closing thoughts. My journey hasn't been easy. But it's been mine. From the ashes of betrayal and illness, I've built a life filled with hope, love, and strength. And that, more than remission or recovery, is the true victory. A small step forward. It hasn't been easy, but every day feels a little lighter. Leah and I are planning a small trip next month, just a weekend getaway. For the first time in years, I'm excited about the future, not haunted by the past. Sometimes, I still catch myself thinking about Vanessa, but those moments don't hurt as much anymore. They remind me how far I've come, from being abandoned and broken to being loved and whole again. And that's a journey worth taking.